Oh, nope. No, that's not what I... That's not what should be there. There we go. Don't know why that came up. Oh, did I have the wrong one open at the beginning? Oh well. Oh, I was looking at the preview, not the actual one that was up. Alright. We're gonna finish this off. I'm pretty sure I'm finishing this off. I don't know if so there's 4 endings total. I'm probably gonna what's I doing when I was getting injured? Oh, I restarted the loop, didn't I? That's right. I have to go. Right. So Dooley I can talk to about getting into the cistern possibly, and also the Greek plate. Forget the Greek plate. I think that's one ending, I assume, when I confront Pluto or whatever. I need to talk to... I can talk to Claudia, and that will let me get... what's-his-face to quit the competition. Here we go. And then... something? I assume... Oh yeah, I assume that means that one, I can get what's-his-face elected, and that's probably one ending, and then another I can get Gallius elected, and that's probably another. I still need to figure out the actual, like, main mystery. Yep, that's fine. Don't worry, we've talked before.
You? Poor Virgil.
Okay.
Alright, let me see. I'll go.
See you, dude. Alright. Okay, let's go see Julie.
Greetings and salutations.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth. Listen.
There's a troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of him. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Hello?
Did you know I was
Hello?
headed in there?
No time to explain.
Do you like it? It's shiny, innit? It makes me happy just looking at it. But if I gave it to you, then I wouldn't have it anymore.
Do I need to get you to cheer you up?
I'd be sad. Well, if you get me out of here, then I wouldn't need it anymore because I'd already be happy. Then you could have it, and you'd be happy too. Like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius.
Okay.
He made me a doll and everything. Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my plaque and everyone will be happy. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So I do need to... Oh.
Places to be.
Yes, I can't talk to Galerius just yet, because he's got his own stuff going on. Because I've sent him to do a lot of work. And save a lot of people. I'll come find him in a minute. Let's go talk to Claudia. Oh. Oh,
You're not supposed to be in
sorry though.
talk. Some time ago, when he stood. Now but. Oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure my husband would seethe with impotent rage if he overheard you say that.
This is a great camera angle.
I love it. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Of course.
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh,
Okay.
don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around. So what do you need me to spell out? Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men. After all
It's
I've
Rome.
done for
That
him,
kinda makes sense.
counselling him through his entire
Excuse me.
election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He said it was for my own good, and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threaten to expose his true identity in front of everyone. I am so looking forward to it. You mean, aside from the fact that I'm locked in this room and Domitius is right outside the villa, because there's barely any left in the city. In fact, there's only one small urn, as far as I'm aware, and getting it won't be easy. So, you'll help me?
Yep, I've wine already. I don't even know where it was meant to be difficult to get from.
Here's the letter.
Yep.
Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quinctius really is. What? He's... Oh no, that's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know.
Check this out. I can always get another copy. How will I get another copy?
What? No. You tricked me, you mendacious little stirkers. It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down. I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous.
Well. Right, let's go see if I can talk to Galerius. No. Can't fall down off there. Walk around here.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind. Don't believe a word they tell you.
Oh yes, good. I was wondering where he was speaking from. Okay. Galerius.
Salve again, friend. How is it possible? You're a forcing
Okay.
tangible. Oh. So I'll tell. Anytime, friend. Now I'm going to keep your secret. Although,
I want to talk to you about.
I saw you slide down that rope before. Very impressive. And strange, too, since that device you used is exactly the same as one I've been working on for weeks. Oh, of course. It's because I already gave it to you in a previous time loop, isn't it? Anyway,
Catch on fairly
sorry
quickly.
to ask, but is there any chance you'd be willing to do me a favor?
I'm really
I've been
missed.
trying to get this rare flower from the rock spire in the middle of the lake. It's too steep to climb, so I hung a rope over the lake and made this pulley device, only couldn't quite summon the nerve.
Oh,
to
I've
use
missed
it.
this question
Do you
this
think
entire
you
time.
could use the device
Huh.
again and try to get that flower for me?
Okay.
Oh, thank you. It would help me a lot. There's no rush, just whenever you get a chance. All right. See you around.
I guess I can't talk to you about becoming magistrate just yet, no?
Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now,
Yeah.
I bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. That's good enough for me. Because
Something about
Sentius
Dooley.
put him there. Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. It's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. And how could you... Oh, wait. You've seen it in another time loop, haven't you? Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure Malleolus loses. Better yet, get him to withdraw altogether. If you can do that, and Sentius is the only candidate left, I'll run against him. Deal?
Right.
All right, friend.
Let's go get that flower. So do I just have to ride over it and drop off of the rope? I didn't know I could drop off the rope. Nope, nope. Let's try again. Ah. Do I basically need to drop off almost immediately? Nope. Give it a second, kind of. Oh, oh, hey. Excellent. Here you go.
Salve again, my Sisyphia. Now. Brilliant! You did it! Well done! This is going to make her so happy. Equitia, I mean. Now I just have to figure out how to give it to her. What I really want to do is walk up to her, give her the flower, and confess I've been madly in love with her since the moment we met. But on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that the consequences could be... terrible. You mean, aside from her execution? You see, Equitia is a Vestal priestess, meaning she's taken a vow of chastity, the breaking of which would be an extremely serious affront to the gods and a capital offense. Even if she was just suspected of being unchaste, it could lead to her execution. Unchaste Vestals get buried alive. Oh, and I'd get flogged to death for good measure. But at the same time, she's just so kind and graceful. I feel so much love for her that if I don't tell her, it'll burn a hole in my chest. I don't know what to do. What do you think? What would you do?
Yeah, go talk to her. Why not?
Now that I hear you say that out loud, I hear how crazy it is. I think maybe I need to be a bit more cautious.
Okay.
What I need is a go-between. Someone who can tell her how I feel and find out how she feels
Of course.
without risking her life. What do you say? Do you think you could help me one more time?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful! Now, all I need you to do is give her the flower and tell her it's from a secret admirer. Tell her I'll keep my distance and that I just want her to know that she's loved.
Alright, okay, alright.
Thank you. Come back as quick as you can and tell me what she says.
It does make sense. I did find that love poem thing in his chambers. And shit, I don't thought it was something to do with
That's
something
quite
like
an impressive bow you have there. A new face. Oh, how lovely. It just happens to be my favorite, too. Who do I have to thank for this? I see. So, it's from Galerius, then?
Okay.
Of course I do. I think everyone in the city knows. That man is a wonderful human being, and my favorite person in the world. But he is the least subtle secret admirer you could imagine. The way he looks at me with those puppy dog eyes. Plus, he's been trying for weeks to get his hands on this flower. He went to so much effort, too. Suspending that rope above the lake, inventing that pulley device all on his own. He'd just stand there each morning, looking at the flower, trying to summon the courage to seize it. Oh, my heart.
Right,
Tell
should I
that
tell him?
adorable oath that my Vestal's vow of chastity ends once I turn 36. So, if we ever make it out of here, and he doesn't mind waiting a few years, then tell him I love him too. I hope so. See you again soon,
Alright.
Salve again, my sis.
Alright.
Oh, thanks. What did she say? Venus, that is the best news I've ever heard in my life. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You have
When do I
no
just get to
idea
tell
how
him
happy you
this
made me.
in the next
I
thing?
wish there was something I could do to thank you properly, but I
Like,
don't
hey,
have
don't
much
worry,
to
she likes you
offer
too.
you. All I can do is tell you where there's a secret stash of coins you might be interested in.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
rock
sure.
tunnel near the stairs, there's a little doorway set into the rock. Inside, if you look carefully, you can see a chest. Unfortunately, one of those golden huntress statues is blocking the path, and I'm not game to move it. If you can figure out how to get past it, I reckon there might be a small fortune waiting
I've been
for
out
you.
there before. It's not really
Hope
that
helps in some way.
worth it.
All
Right.
right, friend.
Um, so I suppose with the option of making Pinchius drop out of the election, excuse me, allowing Sentius win,
On your best behavior, I
Um,
trust.
and there's also the option of having Galerius win. Let's see. Yep.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in. What? So, it finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you, what? One of Nero's assassins? So, you're not going to kill me? Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live?
Yes.
Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There. You got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again.
Gladly. Okay. Right, let's go.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
We'll get Galerius. It's still there. Yep. Oh. What? I wonder if it's because of the withdrawal.
Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know.
Right, so then will Galerius be free to run?
Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default. That is all.
Alright, so now
No. He did? Oh, that was unexpected. I wonder what could have possessed him to do that. Well, I guess it's time for me to step up then. I'll let Equitia know I'll be running. All right, friend.
then I gotta call the election early, or at least duly, and then we do whatever the last bit of the cistern and maybe that final temple are. Guess we'll find out. Wait a sec. Oh, there she is.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
Ave again.
Magistrate's orders.
It'll be. Why do. As I said. Well, I would. Very well. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet.
Is there any other points like that which I've missed? Chicken golden bow. You're saying this. I assume Malleolus gets to cast a vote. He's no longer a candidate. And Domitius as well.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Verges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
Well, he seems a bit unsure of his new role, but should figure it out in time.
Sometimes I stand to guide
It
them.
gladdens my heart that Galerius set poor Dooley free. I will cherish this moment.
It has to be
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Hey.
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer? Oh, it is you. Then, thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy. You can have my shiny plaque if you want, and maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would, but then he died. But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious. He gave me a key to the cisterns and told me to keep it safe. He said there's something very precious way up high. Please help me find it. Please. I had to keep it a secret until I found someone I could trust. Oh, thank you. Here's the key. Hope you find it. In the cisterns, way up high, Hannibal said. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure? Maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. It's so pretty. And it's just lying out here in the nobody wants it. Maybe no one will mind if I just...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, Julie. So maybe Galerius can't become a magistrate then.
Salve, friend. Oh. You? Put. All right. What? Are you? You're serious, aren't you? I doubt Domitius will let me talk to him, but I'll make sure he passes on the message. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you...
I still have the flower in my inventory, don't I? No? No. Yeah. Let's just do that again. Let's get that in the inventory in case I need to. Oh. Okay. Too far. Whatever. It's fine. So. That could. See what he'll say about Julie.
Go out for Scintilla, would you?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before, blah blah blah. It's my broke it.
Broke it. And it broke the golden rule? I see. Of course, we must trust in the... Look, it's unfortunate, but now... Of course. Yeah. Why do you say that? Why in Pluto's name would you do that? The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule-breaker. He's been trying to enlist help with this for months. If you don't help him, then he's not a threat. It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
All right.
Thanks.
Right, well, let's go up and I'll do the cisterns first, I assume. So that's probably that has to be where Scintilla is. She's got to be up on the cisterns. You doing all right, bud? those things I can climb up, are they? Right. Just go and have a look down in the cistern. Long last. Hello. I think we found Scintilla.
You? Who are you? Did he send you? Do you know you're here? You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies, help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key. I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the golden rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together. There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say? There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never.
You hear that? Right, we're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Thank you. Now follow. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life. Just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up. But you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Just the 6? Not a lot compared with Al, but I've seized every day, nonetheless. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
Thanks, Scintilla.
Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this, but where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death by reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my
You can blink at all, Scintilla?
the sun on my face.
You okay there?
The music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong
She's
my
moving
life
again.
indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Of course, Paradox.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Really? That's strange. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kind of rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. I didn't for one moment think it was, but the way you say that makes me wonder. I mean, how many people with that name could there be in this
Common
place?
enough name. It's a common name.
I understand how you could have been here 2,000 years ago. I'm sorry, come again?
Have this
let me see
conversation
that.
again.
God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place.
Have this.
I'm not following. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never... I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it.
Okay, so we're actually in. Oh, okay, so we're in the cistern. So I never saw this place in the future. I don't Or at least I don't think so. No, because we started... we fell into the bats, didn't we? So this is... Oh, I don't have my bow anymore. That's all it took. That's...
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Okay.
Go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find out? Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know? As you wish. You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans bearing their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river.
I'm familiar, yes.
Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here. That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Scintilla.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright. Let's go home. Okay, so that was ending 2. I survived in front of the god of the underworld, so... So I can do... Maybe I have to do these in a particular order then. So maybe next I do the plaque, and then... on the obelisk, and then I do the... final true ending, whatever that might be. No, I'm not. It's a... sorry. The most recent... Is that where I am right now? I'm just sorry, a bit confused. I thought the Julie quest would be over. Sorry. Yeah, no, it seems like it. I wonder if I could, like, free Dooley and then make it up to the aqueduct. Oh, not the aqueduct, yeah, the aqueduct, the cistern, in time to free Scintilla. Anyway. There's a few different, like...
My condition is nobody's business.
Combinations of events I'm trying to think through. Yes. Pluto. What have you got to tell me? Who will I go with? Hades, Nurgle, Osiris, or Pluto? Let's go with the old name. Oh, he wants me to go through all of them, I assume. Osiris. Hades. I need Pluto. Oh, I see that. Okay. Alright, I'm going backwards to the ages, I see. Not this. Around. First one was a okay, so the first one was a Roman temple. This is Greek. Next is, this is obviously Egyptian, and then the final one will be Sumerian. Okay. All right. Maybe I kind of should have expected at least a little, but you know. Hey Jane, Aubrey, I know it's not what I was quite expecting either. You guys see the Stargate?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since so long. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
I will say, so one thing about this game is it's actually making me want kind of go and install Skyrim and see what this original mod was like.
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know? It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful.
Alright, so this is not like...
But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
So... I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe the aesthetic is kind of like, this guy is a fella from the future, so of course he's got his own perspective on what, like, you know, culture and pop culture and etc. said about, like, ancient gods and everything, so maybe he was projecting this image, but okay.
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Right.
No. Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Fair.
This is my beloved. Like me, She has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him that he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium. No exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Oh, My only question now is, when am I talking to you? Is this 2,000 years in the past, or are you... How long have you been waiting?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. But perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Persephone. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten. To ensure the wage was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persepolis along with it. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth. Of course.
Okay, well... To be honest, I find this a bit cliche, but...
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all that came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
In window, that first load, it looked like you're drawing down on the dude with space gardens. I know what you mean, but also when I think space guns, I think something different than futuristic sci-fi weapons. So,
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
oh, I know it is of your. I know it is of your invention. I just thought. I was wondering if maybe that wasn't a term you considered. Or maybe not. Maybe had not considered it in this context. That my character was. That's okay, fair enough.
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts.
Anyway, you like Stargate?
Belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Remember when movies would have military men who were bad before the US military started paying for Marvel movies? Yeah. I was trying to... I remember pointing this out to someone. This is, funnily enough, the film that actually... the film that comes to mind for some reason, when I think of some of this, is actually not the one you might expect. It's actually whatever the last of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Is that The Dark Knight Rises? Whatever one that's called. There's a scene where they like show the army, or maybe it's the National Guard, rolling up to like barricade Gotham. In one scene, you know, when there's the whole like, oh, we're going to set off a nuke or whatever if anyone goes in or out, and then from every other, for one shot it's the military, and then suddenly it always changes. It's just like generic police or like folks in like general, like again, like cop kind of outfits. So it's like, even though we're not even going to show the military or the National Guard taking pointing guns at US civilians. And that's always the one that stood out most to me in a weird way for whatever reason. But yeah, and then that led to our discussion of, well, when did this start and when do we first notice it? Oh, well, like that's that's like that original Matrix is all about like, do you fight against the system, or do you or by becoming a, like, even just by accepting it, do you both potentially become an agent, and do you also end up kind of perpetuating the state of violence? Oh, actually, if you've not listened to it, they did a Waypoint rewatch of the Animatrix, which was actually very good, and I enjoyed some of their insights into those. If you've not seen the Animatrix in a while, I actually rewatched it after listening to it and went, some of these actually hold up really well, and there's some good kind of interesting ideas and themes that I've kind of forgotten about being in those little films. Oh no, I mean, like, post 9/11 is definitely the point, but I'm just trying to figure out when there was, like, you can look at stuff like Michael Bay and going back to the 90s even, where like or like at least kind of you know, definitely kind of like military, like pro-military, or like at least you know, even the bad military men are doing it for the right reasons things. But yeah, there's a point at which there's definitely like a threshold that gets crossed at some point. I like that is alive. Always lived my life that way. Interesting. Search true in this game. Okay. Both of these are true. Yeah.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
Alright.
I'm able to commune with all the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes. If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
The audio balancing in the scene is well off.
Then what an odd question.
Not very perceptive for a god, are you?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Right. No. Yeah. That bondage, definitely.
How is that inconsistent with the rule? And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others. sense of moral superiority. This is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from? I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
Yeah.
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
And
Now
yeah,
tell me,
it's true.
what other sins do you believe
I don't.
have overlooked?
Excuse me, I'm not here to defend the mortgage and lending institutions, mate.
The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
Your point of our language is full of ambiguity doesn't make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable.
Supposing you are right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Right.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Kind of want to talk about the scam. That's nice to see. Scam, misleading, lying. Well,
Do you honestly think you could do better?
so yeah, this is the discussion I was having with the Greek guy in the underground.
I should strike you down for that.
Huh.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning? Very well.
Let's not get hit with the bow if I want to. Alright, let's have a look.
Then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see to the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here? If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years. Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek? Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule?
It does live with us, and if you can't do it yourself, Goldrun is corrupting the city, ensuring you'll never win this wager. That's kind of true, in that the events that happen are all because the rule is in place. That's more of a like, because I'm again kind of trying to argue practicalities here in a way. Because like he's not happy with this. He's trying to win a bet effectively. Telling him that isn't telling him one way or the other. It's just telling him that like humans are not finding it. So this one.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation.
There are a few things I could probably say here.
You to back it up.
That's alright. That person was technically true. Rufius has become paranoid because of the golden rule. That's not so much about the golden rule. And that's using, okay, that again is like using the golden rule, but he would probably argue that putting people under the sponge is not. That's the only one I can think of which is directly because of the existence of the golden rule itself.
He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one.
Oh, okay, so just...
His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day. I admit, I have grown disturbed watching her. Pathetic. You will need to do a lot better than that.
Oh.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
I mean, this is kind of the only one that's true. Well... Try telling him most evolutionary virus inflicts sterility and it's subject to its therefore an evolutionary dead, and that's for my... I'll reload the save after this and I'll try that one. I'll try this one.
These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist?
Very.
Then you still have the option to end your life should you wish, and you are no worse off than if I had not intervened. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
Okay.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
Man from collective punishment occurred one of the most egregious crimes is about positions of the first. We won't worry to punish you for this. I don't think that. First one's going to sway me at all for this.
But I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
I mean, there is a spider that lives in the corner of my room, and I do specifically look out for it. But that's something you mean. But also, again, if you're putting the morality and rules to guide a race of gods and applying them to humans, that is also an unequal treatment, because we do not have the powers or the capabilities or the foresight or technology or all the things you have. So we're at a disadvantage in this.
Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
Oh, that's a good dig.
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal. Bah! For a moment I thought we might have been building to a point, but I see now you are just a hubristic little creature.
That
is a very serious.
Alright, hold on.
Let me. Do you?
Let's see what we got there.
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine. Because that is the source of our power over you.
There you go, that's what.
You could say that.
There we go, that's what I was looking for, the Stoics.
That is true. Go on.
So are you treating humans the way you would wish Jupiter to treat you? I have.
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no, the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
I feel like calling him a human would make him very angry.
Your hubris grows tiresome. You will make a fine statue.
Well.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Guess we're gonna have to go through a dialogue tree again.
Pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Did I not actually pick up the ground? Oh. Oh, just get to see that again. Up until we tell him that.
That would explain
Pursue-
why you first
pursue-
appeared in her shrine. But how is that possible? She has slumbered for 3,000 years. You would have me believe that all this time she has been deceiving me, and that you are the pawn she has chosen to undermine me? Then she has chosen poorly, because you are clearly a fool. However, you will make a fine statue. Pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. No, you vile, despicable creature.
Oh. Did pop up for a second with like pick up the crown, but it kind of didn't.
Impossible.
Did it like not appear?
You will
Alright, let's try that again. Let me just make a save here this time.
First you betray her trust, now you plan to kill her. Truly, you are a despicable creature. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. No, you vile, despicable creature.
So. Where's the crown? Oh. Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, crap. Okay, I understand what happened, because it prioritized the other... I see. It prioritized the other main quest, so... kind of... screwed up the tracking. It's not very clear when you've got the... when it's in black and white, because you got the bow out, where her crown was.
Nice. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. No, you vile, despicable creature.
Serpentine, serpentine. Oh, hit a loading screen. Oh, shit. Oh. Can I go down and see? Oh, this might be a bit silly. Can I, like, go see Scintilla? No, there's a statue down here. Never mind. Thought it might be worth checking. Oh, I forgot I could have taken the zip line. Made it very easy for myself.
Salve, friend.
I must say that Galerius using him as a kind of quick, like mission, like mini mission solver, is a pretty good way of like, you know, dealing with like some of the, you know, the stuff that would kind of probably just get repetitive if you're doing it a lot. We've got Hades. This is Osiris. Right. So now I have two options. I can show him Persephone's crown, and that will probably be an ending, or I can try to talk to him again. Yes.
I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it? You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it. You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium, humiliated and alone. Perhaps you are cleverer than you appear, mortal. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Persephone was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form of her, of all of you. Because despicable creatures like you have no place there. My kin would never allow it.
Alright.
The best I can do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place.
Wait, how do you know that I'm
And you will have
a
created
time traveler this time?
What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready? You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Alright, let's see what this does.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Should make you mad so many times.
Oh, did that lady? I'm fortunate. Apparently, they believe that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
That's a bit far-fetched to me.
Account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Yep, that was a Skyrim fast travel drop. It's so funny how many like little bits of this game are just so tied into the fact that it started off as a Skyrim mod. Yeah. Right. Let's see what Charon has to say to us now.
You're back, but
You can have the same discussion as before.
Oh, what? Why don't you tell me what you just?
Oh, cool.
Ah, I see. I thought you might.
Will
Well,
be
now you know.
same ending as before.
I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon. If I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, that most people, that you died, of my rule, as the most soul. Ask yourself a wise decision. All you need to know is that you and Al died in possession of a sacred silver coin. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths. Well,
Section before.
a long time. My
Yeah.
orders. That is a question you would have to ask him.
I've already
If
asked
that
him.
were still possible. I am
What?
just his. Only now. There is nobody else to ferry here. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have
This
to
is a-
ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look, Here comes Al now. Al! It's...
Kinda lost track of time in there. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all... You two look exhausted.
Sounds good to me.
And you?
Oh, okay. No, this is a postscript then. That's interesting. Ooh.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, I'll see.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
I'm definitely interested in seeing what Sentius has to say.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Dooley.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
I'm glad you're doing well, Dooley.
Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth. Bye-bye.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
Good. I suppose it's lucky you were all brought into the future knowing perfect English.
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself. See you at the wedding, I hope.
Here. Ah, Ilya.
Hi, you're the Oracle, right?
Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation. Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Got out of debt bondage, only to take out loans. In the UK. Wonderful. Great.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude? Thank you. You're very kind. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck. Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you. You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there. You're welcome.
I'm not going to be in London anytime soon. Krisha, I hope you're doing well.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So, I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. You too, don't be a stranger.
Oh, of course, join the fucking army.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Centilla with us as well. So, thank you. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever. Thanks.
You're too smart to be in the army, mate.
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Perhaps. And you. Farewell.
Hey.
Essential.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me. Meh, I try not to think about him at all. You too. See you around.
I don't know if it was really that good to see you again. Don't particularly like you. What else have we got here?
Hello.
Oh. What's this?
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful. I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won. You too, my friend.
I should have more to say. I don't really talk much to you.
The one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia. I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Right, you're living the life.
Thank you. I really am. You too.
Oh. You got out.
I
Good for
take
you.
it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your Catabasis to thank for it.
There's something about his face looked different when it was lit differently, and maybe a bit more like real. Yeah, I'll put it that way. He's got a very like plasticine looking face here.
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Why are you in fucking Cambridge then?
My sincere thanks once again.
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. You must be the Oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you. Most gracious of you. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
There you go.
Of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune. Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
This guy's the most like most patches or patches adjacent character in this game.
Good evening.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber, not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him. Thank you. That means a lot. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us. All right. See you later, I hope.
She didn't have more to say about, you know, being the frightened Christian in the Roman Empire and being born in the 21st century. It's like she'd have more to say.
Greetings.
Also in a year which is, you know, 2021, and why we name it 2021. I thought she'd be more excited about that.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium. I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. And you, farewell, friend.
Good.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
I like the jacket.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
I'm glad you're doing well.
Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
It's a good chat. Like, it's weird because there's a lot going on, and yet it all just kind of like. Like there's a.
What is up?
Gosh. I like this guy. This guy was cool. Jackish.
What is up?
Oh, I still get. I should have been looking at some of these. I still get more archaeologist insight. The Egyptian ram had a date, I believe, by the Egyptians to bury the. Yes, Flash, it's fine. Don't worry. Those who at death and Osiris bury on the road. This must be the man in the ram headdress who Kabash saw when he walked the river. Anubis. She's a statue of Anubis, ancient Egyptian god of mummification and embalming, among other things. What else can I do? I'm not really much to do with here. Feline statue of a lion.
Some soiree, innit?
That's the bathtub.
Hello.
Magnificent museum, is it
See
not?
what this is.
Hello. Hi there.
Mm.
Hey.
Now, of course, he's looking at the. Didn't actually think about. I wonder. And that's the that was the that's the Persephone statue. Look, if he didn't want me staring at it, he shouldn't have taken his pants off, should he?
Hey.
Hello.
Good evening.
Here, Virgil, Sumerian statue of the dead. Ah, Rufus.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff. I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. Good to know.
Yeah, your paranoia worked out.
Good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
You know what, Rufus? If you hadn't been homophobic, you might be one of my favorite characters in this.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
I'm trying to figure out if this guy is actually meant to, like, okay, so this accent they've given him, like this is a German accent, so, and this is Rotterdam, was it suggesting that he's actually meant to be Dutch and they've assigned him the wrong accent for it, or? Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it.
I'm studying to be an architect again and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too, as Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Hello there.
Oh, Scintilla.
I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him. Don't worry, nobody did. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine. Thanks. You too.
Alright. Ulpius?
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Notice you're very slightly clipping through your shirt there, Ulpius.
You too.
Alright. What other plundered relics do we have? Here, got the nice choice of this. Almost walk this path. For the laws of day help the virtuous to paradise in the city beneath the earth. The ravenous hunger of the avaricious is sated at the banks of the stream, but in vain, for none from here may return. That's the old fish. I reckon that's that. The Egyptian plaque.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed, Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
No, never noticed them.
Good.
Of course I do.
Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Oh, so this is the... Oh, so I missed it. So, I missed the link 3 then. Oh, I'll let the credits run on this one. And I want to go back and do the third one, which I assume is the one where you just talk Pluto into ending the cycle. And this is, you know, I don't know how much of the team, I assume they well, maybe the entire team of people who worked on that mod originally. Skyrim. And again, it's actually made me interested in looking at the Skyrim mod. Maybe we'll do it at some point. I just felt that I was kind of wondering. I assume, like it definitely sounded like they had. That's the most Greek name ever. It did sound like they had different voice actors for everyone. But I was kind of wondering if there's some overlap. But, no, definitely. Books for all of them. Oh, no, they didn't. Maybe. Okay, no, that's the same person there. Yeah, no, okay, there's been a couple of them. Philosopher, God. Navia, though she doesn't turn up much. So that's the same as. Okay. Alright, okay, so there's a couple of overlaps, but mostly they're all different people. Again. Even if you've got 20-odd voice characters in a small game like this, and they're all just different voice actors, that's pretty good. So I think, like, voice acting in general is actually pretty good for this. Especially for stuff that was probably all recorded from home. I think this was all put together over the last 2 years, so. Maybe not. Maybe I suppose I don't know how long this was in production. I think this was in production for a few years, but you know, it just tend to be that voice work and stuff kind of tends to kind of come towards the end. So maybe, you know. I'm interested to see what they do next. Like I'm still there's part of me that's a little mixed on this. Like, in a sense, I kind of wanted a bit more puzzly. Like, there are a few things I wonder, like how they what they might, like other stuff they might do. Like, I would actually, like, I wonder if I go, no, because I'm trying to think. Like, I suppose there's probably no way I can go to rescue Scintilla and then confront Ventius. Because if I go to Scintilla, it just goes into that whole like cutscene thing anyway. So it's weird because there's a few things I think like there's a few things which I like wonder about alternative endings, or at least kind of like variations on some of the endings, but it seems like they kind of very firmly have like these four with like some like clearly there's some different things that happen if you know, I imagine if you don't save Ulpius or what have you. Oh. No, you're grand. Alright, let's go see if we can convince Pluto to give up on his give up on everything. Right. Yeah, that's Australia.
Tread lightly. That is a very serious. Every day. Do you? Where to begin? In which? Because.
It's more powerful. This is what they say. Okay.
Let me ponder. How? Your hubris.
So, oh, do I? Oh, maybe I need to. Do I need to go through all the other conversation trees then in order to do some stuff? So I definitely didn't get all the options I had before. Oh yeah, because I need to. Okay, I definitely need to hear him talk about Jupiter, don't I? What? Bows. Then. Okay.
Do you honor? I should strike. Now.
Okay.
Tread.
All right, here we go.
How so? That is a very serious. These people were all dead. Then you still have the everyone they
There we go. Okay. Oh, what should I? Shit, which is the one to actually say to him there? Is it? Look, what one did I say the last time? And did I have one that was right, and then the next answer I picked was wrong? I can't even remember now.
Let me.
No, okay.
Wait. What? What are you
There we
saying?
are. Yeah, we'll work on again. Yeah, humans make mistakes. It's in our nature.
You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed from the beginning. But that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that? A mistake. But he is the best and greatest of us. Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot deny it any longer. I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice, quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events, what will become of you now? Farewell.
But wait, is this a different... Yeah, no, I'm not even sure if this is a different ending to the last one. Right, well, again, Al.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh. Because what became of him? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly...
Oh wait, is this one where if I Do I have to start the time loop again and then not rescue everyone? Is that what the third ending actually is? This is going to be the same one again.
You're... Really? Sounds amazing. And did you... Oh, look! Here he comes. Ow! It's so good to...
Kind of like... And there was a tablet.
Sounds like quite... You two look exhausted.
Sounds good.
And you...
Okay, yeah, this must just be the same. Alright, so what do I have to... Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yep.
Hey.
Everyone, sorry. Yeah, it's good to ignore you for the moment. Gotta get a different ending. Yeah, I wonder if what I need to do is just start the loop over and not have...
Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving your deed. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and the nymphs would be proud.
Yeah, okay, that's all gone. Not like... Give me one sec. I want to look up what I need to do to get the third then. One sec. Guide here. Oh, okay. No, 3 is different. Alright, I see what I need to do for this. Signed. I guess Persephone's crown is there as a backup if you can't figure out the puzzle there.
What? It's no use.
You'll never persuade him of any. You're making.
Okay, so the. I do want to try talking to Cinches first. Oh. Or I can miss that jump. This is one where you bring. Oh, it actually saved me at the bottom of the wall. Okay. Oh, that's another. Oh, so that's another way I could get up. Of course, I could have gilded the vines and gone up. Big boot. Big boot. Big boot.
Thank you.
Oh. Let me see what Sanchez has to say about.
All weapons are to be tossed into the.
Actually, what does actually what does Sanchez say in this case?
Oh, another one fresh out of the. Oh. What? You should. Oh, look. Oh. Oh, I can see. Oh. Thank you.
But I could.
We went. I think. That. What I hope. If you must know, I'm here because I couldn't bear to lose you too. Oh, you should.
Oh yeah, so I need to
Thank.
do that first. Now can I tell you that I found her in the this stone?
Oh.
Really? Okay, that's that feels a bit weird.
We're finally. Me? What are you talking about? You know, you remind me of him. Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before you. Come now. Sure, you see, my connection to the portal was somehow preserved, but I'm surprised he was a moral, and because of that, fatal. I watched him, and when he finally saw the future, the next time I awoke, you showed it. I mean, 8 times? Most impressive. And yet everything you've done has been in vain. All those people you murdered, thinking you were a hero, they died for nothing. Because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took. The path. So, you discovered my secret. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have, and as long as this day keeps, I have found a way to prolong. And why would I? You might want to think that through. If anyone so much as touches me, everyone dies. I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on forever until you wither and die like Al did, and the gods send yet another useful idiot to extend my life for me. What are you going to do? Beg the gods for help? They don't care about you, and neither do I. Now, get out of my villa. I'm bored with you. citizen.
Alright, well.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Give me a minute, and I'm gonna reset this loop over again. Actually, what will Cinches say now that I've confronted him about that?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Yeah. Cinches, you set of legs on you, don't you?
Sorry, friend. Yulia.
Wait, no, okay. Maybe I need to do something else. I'm talking to. Hold on. I need to get an opportunity. Or probably get it just. Alright, let's. Oh no, this is much earlier save. That's not the save I wanted to do. What is this? Oh, game crashed. Looks like. Alright, let's see if I can find that save I want again now. Maybe that's this one? No, that's just the one I reloaded a minute ago, isn't it? No, maybe not. Okay, no, I'm not here. So I probably have to talk to her and suggest rescuing everyone else. I can check that guide I had a look at before.
Who are you?
behind me. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy lock. I'm going to take... I'm done, Kev. There won't be enough time. There's no time. What? I hate you. I spit on you. I hope Dis drags you to Tartarus.
Okay. I think now if I go and try that again. Now I should have the opportunity to gather everyone here. Oh. It's an awkward ball. An awkward jump. But I survived on the reload, so you know what, it's fine.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Yep.
The many shall suffer the sins of the one.
Can't touch us. Now let's see if I can. Yeah, does this work now? There you go. This is what I wanted.
What? That's a big ask. But something tells me you're not kidding. Alright, I'm gonna stick my neck out and believe you. But I doubt I'll be able to gather more than a handful of people.
Ah, a fellow traveler from
Now we'll see how many people get out here with them. What's loading? It's the door being kind of awkward. There we are.
You. Wait, what? God, am I going out of my mind? Are you going to let me go or not? How did you know? Wait, did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him.
I should have guessed it has something to do with this.
I'm talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she?
I love that Bethesda zoo.
So that is how it
yeah, I've told this before.
discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
Listen to that.
Why? Isn't it obvious? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely. To cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course, there's no way you could have succeeded, as I told, by reliving the same day over and over again, forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
Oh, that was her picking the key up.
Many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. The others should be right behind us. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Oh, okay, now.
So, maybe.
Calvary Aqueduct.
You go on.
You're back.
Supposedly, how could you?
Oh.
What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but Octavia, Lucretia, Horatius, Equitia and I will never forget you, or what you did for us. It pains us that so many of our dear friends were not so fortunate, including Ulpius and Galerius, who heroically tried to rescue Dooley, but never made it back. But there is no point dwelling on what might have been. All we can do is take this gift you've given us and try to show others the same compassion you showed us. We promise you that saving our lives was not for nothing. Scintilla et al.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. You two look
Sounds good to me.
And you?
All right. That's why after doing 2, I thought I had to go confront Pluto because it gave the same tip. Yeah, that's it. Hey, we saw them all. We saw all the endings. Rescued some people. Oh, you rescued one person, then then everyone, and then we went back and rescued some people. I'm still. Like, again, I think overall, I liked this. I'm maybe not like as enthralled with it as I thought I would be. Part of it being like, look, I just played Obra Dinn, and Obra Dinn gave me a very particular idea of what a first-person puzzle game set in a kind of confined space with some sort of time mechanics would involve. The moment I got the bow and started shooting stuff, I'll be honest, I kind of like I didn't lose interest, but I definitely kind of felt it had it suddenly had a very different vibe to it. That said, I think like conceptually and then also in an execution, it's mostly like very good. My faults are more like, you know, when one of the characters mentioned there was like 4 points on the obelisk, and I said it was Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and unknown civilization. And then you meet Kavash in the Egyptian underworld, and he says there is a deeper one. And I'll be honest, my brain immediately went, "This is going to be fucking aliens." And then I get down there and no, it's Sumerian, and I went, "Oh, of course, Sumeria." Even though I'm pretty sure ancient Egypt and Sumerian civilization were at least somewhat contemporary, though Egyptian civilization lasted a long time, so it's kind of hard to... Or Egyptian civilization kind of, at its peak, kind of spanned a long time, so I suppose it's very hard to kind of like say they were contemporary versus not contemporary, but anyway. I suppose they're talking about dominant culture of the age, is maybe what they really mean in that, but... When it wasn't that, I felt relief. And then when it was that, I went, And it's not done badly, it's just maybe done too much until now, so... Yeah, I'm not, like, again, I'm not giving out about the game or, like how it's being presented or anything like that. It just wasn't as keen on it as it could be. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I think. Yeah, have a quick look and see who is still on, who is online, if anyone. No, right? I think I'm going to try to stream a bit more this week. I am... Sorry, just having a look, see who's online. I have a few games I was kind of thinking of playing, one of which is Inscription. One of which is Dawn. Okay. I might do this. I might actually play Inscription sooner rather than later, because I kind of feel like getting into that game before I hit, like, I know it's been talked about in a lot of Game of the Year stuff, so I kind of feel like maybe I want to play it sooner rather than later to avoid some spoiler stuff. I'm going to send folks over to their Retro Pals, I suppose. Why not? But yeah, I think I'm going to do Inscription next. I'll post about that. I'm going to have to see how my schedule works for this week. I get boosted tomorrow. Yay! So we'll see how I am doing tomorrow evening and if I'm in the mood for streaming or not. And then yeah, we'll see how I get on during the week. But yeah, I've kind of got my work schedule kind of aligned now with my own schedule. So I'm kind of figuring myself out and actually can I think kind of make sure I've got figure about, you know, doing some streams in the evenings and stuff after work and everything, but still kind of getting there. Anyway, take care everyone, and I'll send you over to Retro Pals who are playing Atari Jaguar games. Oh, great. Enjoy that. Bye everyone.